Welcome fellow home growers. Today we will be transplanting these rooted fig tree cuttings. We will also be having a closer look at the root development before we transplant. But before we get going, I would love to ask you guys to like and subscribe for more content like this. It is really gonna help me increase the quality of my content. So this is the result. Just slice it open down the side and you literally take the whole root ball, soil and all, put it into the hole and cover it up. That way you have the least amount of root disturbance and your plant can just continue growing. So the way I do it, I just cut off the side of the plastic bag. So there you can see what the root mass looks like. With the growth that it's putting out. And now why I like doing it this way is there's not a lot of root disturbance going on here because I'm going to transplant this whole block just like that into its bigger container. Say this is an upscaled version of using seedling trays, except we in a bigger version with cuttings. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a big old pot, just fill it up with soil up to the point where these top roots, the last of the roots, are covered, leaving the roots enough space to venture downwards and outwards. And then I'll probably leave this plant inside this pot for at least one full season now, and then after that, depending on how root bound it gets, I will transplant it into its permanent container. You could transplant it at this point into its permanent container or place where it's going to stay. It's just in my circumstances I do not have the container ready and I wanted to give this update video just to show you guys what the root mass looks like. So I'm gonna plant it into the pot. I will be filling up the pot up until just below halfway, and then I will be checking the fit of the fig tree in the pot before I continue. The soil that I'm using is part of my homemade compost that I've accumulated over the past 5-6 years from just collecting my yard trimmings, and literally every single piece of waste material that I generate inside the yard goes into the compost. That looks a bit high. I'm just gonna dig it out a bit. Make sure to compact your soil in so that it doesn't collapse in on itself after you finished off your potting, and then leave part of your roots exposed that you do not, or higher parts of the plant exposed, where you might end up leaving your roots exposed. That seems about right. I used this same method to clone my peach trees as well. Unfortunately, I do not have any of them available anymore to show you what they look like, because I sold all of them to some friends and people that were looking to acquire some peach trees, and quite frankly I enjoy the extra bit of cash because it helps me expand my homegrown project. I've only got these ones left. These are like because I sold the other ones, and when it pays the bills, you don't get to choose which plants you keep. And that's it. That's the ease of the process. It's really not a complicated thing. It's just something that you need to do. I like to think a big part of the ease of this is the method that we started the cuttings with, and transplanting them directly from the grow bags like these ones. I personally feel it's convenient and it's easy and it's cheap. You can reuse materials and still get good results. So there we go, guys. As easy as that. It took only a few minutes. It's work that we started quite a while back, but now this is the first fruits of our labor, and in a few months time we will have some real fruits from this labor. So the only thing that's left to do now is just give it a good soak in, and then I'm just gonna leave it with the other cuttings just to give it time to just adapt, and then within time I'll move it out into a more sunny spot that's not as shaded as where it is at the moment.